G'day, Josh here with a chest rush video. I'm going to be using the brand new replay feature which has been added in Season 5 to actually check out my very first ranked game this season. In fact, it was my first game this season, and you can see that I've slowly been working through the Guru's trials to get as many of those featured hero shards as possible. So my last 5 games working backwards was 6 Cyborg, 6 Hunter, 6 Sorcerer, 6 Rider, and 6 Warrior. We're going to jump into that 6 Warrior game because not only did I get the win, it was the first game I played, but it was also up against 2 Sorcerer builds, and Sorcerers are usually, they're meant to beat Warriors, but we're going to walk through this and look at why that wasn't the case, why I was able to still get the win. A lot of it's to do with the reworked Oceanborn combo, so a little spoiler there. But the cool thing about this brand new replay feature is that I can skip the boring stuff and just get to the important stuff, which is really, really interesting. So you're going to notice a couple of differences over the regular view if I was playing the game. Firstly, you got that replay UI at the very top of the screen. And secondly, I've got this little drop down here where I can actually see some other items that we don't necessarily have access to when I'm playing live. So that's really, really cool. So anyway, the first few rounds are not that exciting. So let's going to go ahead and jump to round 2. We can see what I grab. Oh, look at that. 3 Bangars in that shop. So I already have one. That's an immediate 2-star. And I do like Famine early as well. But given that I knew I was trying to get 6 Warriors this specific game, finding a 2-star Bangar early is very, very nice. And so let's advance now to round 3. This is the first PvE round, and I'm going to go straight to the start of the battle. And you can see that we both have a 2-star, but I've got 5 heroes. The enemy only had 4 heroes. So I have a... Actually, no. I was also level 4 at this point in time. My mistake. I'm so used to aggressively leveling in Turbo that I made an assumption there. But none of my heroes have actually died yet. There we go. I lose Glutton, or one of my Gluttons. I lose the second Glutton there. Bangar's ability goes off and I get that round win. So we're off to a good start. Then we move into round 4. And that shop, I locked that shop so I could actually get that Witch Doctor. I don't normally, not Witch Doctor, Night Owl. I don't normally lock shops, especially this early in the game. I will later in the game when I'm level 9 or level 10, but I very rarely do it this early. But because I've got the Ever Bloom there, I know that I've got Dr. Molly unlocked. So I was thinking maybe I could incorporate some summoner action in. And because Night Owl is now a summoner, that was my thinking there. So I believe, yep, there we go. The battle is about to begin. So once again, not too important at this stage, but it's nice to get that early win streak. You can see that I'm up against some Cyborgs here, which does make it a little bit tougher. But we are looking very, very strong. Having Undead early is really, really useful. So it gets straight through that Cyborg armor. And I end up winning this one fairly comfortably there, as you can see. So let's go to the next round. And we're straight to the battle. So I did buy a few things from the shop. I've got Misfortune on the board now as well. And you can see from my combos on the left, I'm currently rocking 3 Warrior, 2 Undead, 2 Beast, 2 Summoner. Now, when we win this battle, which we're about to do, I will actually pause and show you a couple of other things as well, which are really interesting. So, at this point in time, we're the only player still undefeated. And this one was a little bit closer. That Lancelot really went to work here, but my Night Owl summon comes in at just the right time. Night Owl and the summon end up getting the job done there. So, at this point in time, let's have a look at what our opponents are running. So, we can see that COVID is already on 3 Sorcerer, 2 Cyborgs, and there's a couple of other 3 Warrior builds further down. Not everyone has made their featured hero selection yet, and you can also see what's on everyone's bench. So you can see that Tyler there has lots ready to 2-star. But the other thing I want to show you, if you're not already aware, the 4 Beast combo has been updated. So if you have 4 Beasts on the battlefield, for every pet summoned, additionally increases all allies' attack damage by 10%. So obviously that partners very well with summoners, but can it work with warriors as well? And we definitely find out during this game. So we're going to skip to round 6, which is the first creep round. Let's go ahead and I guess we can... I don't think we see the items drop here. I wasn't paying attention in the first 2 creep rounds, but I believe you will see them go into the item chest at some point. Oh no, we do see them drop. There we go. So we get a critical greatsword. I'll leave the chest open for now to see whether, I believe we can see what ends up in there as well using the replay function. Yeah, there it is. So we just get a greatsword, but we do have a martial sword out on the board now, and you can see that he's already spawning a couple of young frogs very, very quickly. Well, I ended up getting quite a few items in here. Now, I wonder why that was a little delay. I'm not sure why that was so delayed, but anyway, let's skip ahead to the next round. A couple of Wukongs in our shop. Obviously, I'm going to be running 6 warriors, so I'm going to be grabbing those. I'm already at level 8, and if we bring out this is the easiest way to see it. There's 3 enemies that are at level 7, and everyone else is at level 6. So I'm looking pretty good. I now have 4 beasts on the board, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on Bangar here. He already has an attack buff because of the greatsword, but now when I skip to the start of the battle, watch what happens every time a pet is summoned. That attack number, which is 434 at the moment, is going to increase by 10%. So when does our first summon occur? There's a summon and it goes up 474. Where do we get another? There's another summon and it goes up to 513. Do we get another? We do another summon, That was a night owl, I believe. So he ends up much higher than what he started with. And that's not just him. That's every hero of mine on the board is getting those attack benefits. So you can see I'm getting an upgraded Glutton here, upgraded Everbloom, Kraken. Why am I grabbing Kraken? And this is that reference earlier where I mentioned Oceanborn. So I've got General Puffer on my bench. I don't have him on the board yet. But Oceanborn now offers magic resistance again. It's no longer the Confuse that it was last season. It's back to being magic resistance, which is really, really useful against Sorcerers. And at this point in time, we're at round 9. We can now see that there are 2 Sorcerer opponents, and these 2 opponents end up being my final 2 opponents. And it's quite a close game between all 3 of us. Obviously, you know, we end up getting the win because I started this video showing you the my match history before I jumped into the replay. Now, this is my first loss. So this one was against... I think I have to hide that. No, we don't actually know who it's against. Oh, no. We can see their hero on the other side, their character. That was against the bottom player, who's high rolling and has a lineup value of 37 crystals at this point in time. So then let's skip the harpy round. We want to get to some more PvP action. So who do we end up? Let's go straight to the battle here. Who do we end up matched up against? One of the sorcerer builds. And he's currently sitting on top. We are down to 48 HP at this point. We do have 2 Oceanborn out on the board at this stage. We do not have as many 2 stars as our enemy, but we're looking good. And you can see the attack bonuses there from our 4 beasts. So we're looking pretty solid. We get the win against that sorcerer build. We are very close to our end game build here. You can see that I have Night Owl on my bench. I also have Dr. Molly on my bench. The way this game goes, I end up running 6 warrior, 4 beast, so I don't end up using Dr. Molly, although she is a ton of fun as one of the new heroes. But so you can see that I did actually just sell Night Owl. My thinking was I'll try and incorporate Dr. Molly, but as the game progresses, I realized that I really want to run with 4 beasts, given my my board. The fact that I've already got 2 beast warriors in Ice Tusk and Bangar. I've got the beast warlock in Marsh Lord, who is really, really strong this update. Do not sleep on Marsh Lord. As he upgrades his ability, he summons more and more froglings. He only summons 1 at 1 star, 2 at 2 star, and all the way up to 3 at 3 star. And if you saw my water park video yesterday, you will know that Marsh Lord is absolutely crazy this patch. So there we go. We're down to the top 5 at this stage. We're at round 12. What does the next shop have for us? Another General of War. Have I 2-starred him already? I have. So often I don't look to 3-star, 1, 2, or 3 cost heroes in Turbo. That's just my personal playstyle. I mainly focus on getting high value 2 stars and then working on 3-starring those in the late game. You can see there that I grab another Dr. Molly. Still need to get to level 10. I'm at 31 crystals. I haven't really been refreshing the shop at all at this point in time. I've just been focusing on levels. And as you can see, I'm still 1 level ahead of my competition. But some of my competitors do have more 2 stars than I do at this stage. So we are up against an Eastern Hunter build. And from memory, this build absolutely wrecks me with my current build. But when I get to 4 beasts, I end up turning the tide of that battle. Actually, Might have been a little bit earlier that he wrecked me. It looks like I might... No, I think I will lose this one. His Berserker is going nuts. You can see that animation there. So he's rocking... Is it 4 goblins as well? 3 goblins at that stage. But yeah, very, very nasty build. Let's go back to my board here. We are now going to be moving into round 14. Let's go straight to the battle. Straight to the interesting stuff here. And you can see that I have just gone to level 10. And I've thrown Dr. Molly out on the board. And now I've got 2 summoners. I don't have Everbloom at this stage. Everbloom's gone. Oh, it's annoying. I can't actually see the 2 summoners I've got there, but I can when the next round starts. I'll be able to point them out to you. So Everbloom's gone. I've got Dr. Molly and Marshallord as my summoners, but I end up realizing that it's more impactful to have to sell off Dr. Molly there and run Night Owl. Now, obviously, I'm upgrading Kraken to Shakaraka. His the area of his control is significantly better, and there's another shark sitting in that shop there for me. You can see that I'm adjusting positioning here as well. This is to split against those sorcerers, so I'm not as vulnerable to area of effect because I've still got those 2 sorcerer builds to worry about. Neither of them are at 6 sorcerers just yet, but trust me, they do get there. So let's go ahead and skip through to the next PvP round. And we are down to top 4. So obviously top 4 is what you want. Guaranteed positive points. Let's go straight to the battle there. And you can see that now I've got Dr. Molly on the bench and I've got a 1-star Night Owl on the board. So Night Owl being a beast summoner, I've still got the 2 summoners, just not with Dr. Molly. But now the 4 beasts means that my heroes are getting lots and lots of extra attack damage every time there's a summon. And it's going to get more significant once Marshallord gets to a higher level as well. So I do end up 2-starring Marshallord. So let's skip through to the next round. Oh, Marshallord is 2-star already. So there's another Night Owl. Executioner. Now this is an interesting one. I don't want to sell Ice Tusk or Bangar because they're beasts. I don't want to sell Glutton because of Undead. General of War is just better than Wukong in my opinion. So Wukong is the one that I end up replacing Executioner with. Obviously, Executioner being a legendary and having a very useful ability as well is super useful. What I do want to do is I actually want to slow down this next battle. We're going to go half speed. And we're going to try and track Executioner here. Because he's meant to now always target the highest enemy. So his ability is about to go off. His mana bar is full. Who ends up getting the silence here? It looks like, if we actually pause this for a second, who ends up getting the silence? It's very hard to see. It's possible the hero that just got silenced just died. That's the only thing I can think of at this point in time. I can't find anyone that actually has that silence. So I think what it might have been in that particular round is a silence triggered and then that hero died straight away. But I do end up losing this one against this, once again, this Hunter Goblin package. But they end up being eliminated, which is great for me because they probably would have beat me at the end. But now I'm stacked up against these 2 sorcerer builds. They're both hit 6 sorcerers now. One's on 4 humans, one's on 6 humans. So they're getting very strong. Luckily, not too many legendaries out of them just yet, but they do come, trust me. So you can see what's happening with my shop here. I've still got 32 HP, so I don't need to worry too much about using that Guru straight away on one of the legendaries. I'm saving it for a legendary. But I'm getting very close to 2-starring my board, and both my opponents are still at level 9. You can see there now there's a 2-star Joey that I have to worry about. And that 2-star Joey is definitely problematic. I end up fighting another shark. And there's a 2-star Shakaraka as well. So now I just need to find another Executioner, and then I can 2-star that as well. I saw a couple of Berserkers in that shop, so I did grab both of those. Now, so I think my Executioner ended up dying before getting his ability off there. But I do end up winning this one. And you can see how I end up doing against this Sorcerer build as well. Once again, end up winning. And this would not be the case if I did not have those 2 Oceanborn. So obviously General Puffer works as a warrior towards my 6 warrior build, And Shakaraka is such a strong individual hero. He might actually be the most important legendary in the current meta just because of how significant his stun is, especially at 2-star. It increases in area the higher his star rating is, 4, 5, or 6 squares. And it's a really, really good source of crowd control. And you can see that. So let's skip to the next battle again. You don't have to worry about that 2-star Sanzang, but look at this. As soon as the shark goes off, you'll see a massive area of effect. Which it hasn't gone off yet. He might have... oh, he hasn't got his mana bar filled up yet. So that one wasn't ideal. There it is. It finally goes off. I think Sanzang hit him. I think that's what cost me that one. Sanzang got the 50% reset chance. So you really want him to be going off as quickly as possible. He does have some items to help him do that. Let's go ahead and skip through to the next PvP round. There's another shark in the shop. Now, I do have the 2-star Executioner now. That is really, really important. So let's go ahead once again and skip through to the battle here. And we're going to once again track Executioner. And let's see who he ends up targeting here. So that has been... Let's pause here. He ends up getting the Frost Lotus, the 3-star Frost Lotus. Now, I'm playing against COVID again. So it's important to note that it's not the rarity of the hero that's the most important or the determining factor. He will target a 3-star before he targets a 2-star. So even though that 2-star Joey is way stronger than that 3-star Frost Lotus, he does hit the 3-star Frost Lotus there over the 2-star Joey. Does it affect us getting the win? As you see Joey's ability go off. Joey's ability goes off again, and we do actually lose that one. Now, of course, if Executioner had have hit Joey, that would not have been the case. How did we do on this board? For some reason, it's bugged out a little bit. We end up losing on that board. That's fine. It doesn't affect our HP necessarily. We are sitting on top at the moment, 26 to 20 to 17. Quick look at what we're faced up against now. So 3 stars, legendaries, Sanzangs, Lightbringers, all the nasty stuff in the Sorcerer world. But we are still competing. Now, obviously, you can see that I'm starting to think about 3-starring Shakaraka, which should be quite fun. What I'm going to do is skip to the next round. A lot of these, we'll go straight to the battle. A lot of these rounds are very, very similar at this point in time. You can see that I actually shifted my positioning. I was in the back corners. I moved it up to the front so that I was more quickly engaging with the opponents. I think that you probably want to do that, given that warriors don't have too many ranged heroes. And if they're back, they have to jump further, which means it's longer before your heroes are doing any damage. We do get the win on our board there, and we end up getting the win on this board as well. So now all of a sudden, I have a little bit of a HP buffer. Let's go straight back to the next battle. You can see me spinning the shop here, looking for more of those legendaries.
Leave the medical work to me.
Collecting druids as well. Or collecting a druid so that if I find a second guru, I can use the druid combo to 2-star the guru with only 2 of them. All right, let's jump straight to the next battle. Slight shift in positioning again with my 2 bees warriors in the back line there. Sanzang, oh, that was a nasty hit. And lots of area of effect stuff hitting all over. This ends up being a pretty rough round for me. And you can see here that I'm about to lose. And I lose a little bit of that health buffer. But Tyler also gets eliminated. So now we're down to the final 2. And of course, these are the creeps that you want to get to because they drop so many items. So what I'll do is after this battle, before we start the next battle, I will pause and I'll go through where all my items are being equipped. You see Shakaraka's ability going off and stunning pretty much every creep there, which is fantastic. And you can see I'm getting a pretty comfortable win there. Lots of summons on the board. So how many young frogs? 4 at this stage. And he's close to getting the ability off. There it is. So we end up with 6 of them on the board, plus Night Owl's summon, which means 7 lots of 10% attack damage increases. There's another 2-star Shakaraka, but unless I can get another guru, it's going to be hard. So at this point in time, I'm literally just searching for another guru so I can 3-star that Shakaraka. Alter my positioning again. Lots of experimenting. Set up a little T formation here, so I'm just going to hit pause. Little T formation. Now what I'm hoping here, I know that Sanzang's ability is going to go off. He's got a couple of tomes on him, and it's going to go off. Now at 2-star, he has a 50% chance of resetting the mana abilities of all my heroes. So what I'm trying to do with this T formation, the thinking here, is I want to get him triggering as quickly as possible. And this might seem a bit counterintuitive, but because he's got tomes, he's probably going to trigger his ability before most of my heroes. So if I leave it too late, then my heroes will have their mana bars more filled up, and then when he resets them, it will be even more impactful. So my intention here is to focus him, get him firing off as quick as possible, kill him as quick as possible, and then if he does hit that 50% chance and reset my hero's mana bars, it will be less impactful because it's happening sooner into the battle. It's still not ideal, but it's just my way of handling it in this particular instance. Now, you can see that my items, I've got a, let's start with the legendaries. A Tome to Longsword on Shakaraka. You see that I've actually got more items here that I'm still equipping at this point as well. So maybe we will just watch the rest of those get equipped. You can see them happening. They're vanishing from the store slowly. So I'm changing things around. Unfortunately, it's a little bit hard to track where they're going. But now we can hit pause as the battle's starting and we can have a look. So Night Owl has a longsword and a dagger, and that is because Night Owl's summon also benefits from those, so it's really useful. Glutton, armor and a tome. 4 armor on Executioner, longsword and dagger. Nothing on Bangar. Resistance cloak and Spellbane staff on Misfortune. Resistance cloak on Marshlord. Nothing on Ice Tusk. Tome, longsword and dagger on Shakaraka. Armor and tome on General of War, and nothing on General Puffer. Now, I don't think we had enough. We had 1 tome, 2 tomes, 3 tomes. Yeah, we didn't have enough tomes to max out tomes on someone, which was a little bit disappointing. So that was the spread there instead. And now we're at 13 and 12. So basically the winner of this round wins the game. You know the result already. So let's go ahead and watch that. Lightbringer cast doesn't do too well, neither does our Shakaraka cast, but we do end up getting a very nice result because of that spread positioning, some of the item placement. I think the T positioning on Sanzang worked really, really well for us as well. And I guess the replay is bugged out a little bit, but you do end up seeing, maybe because that's the final round, it just plays through, and there's the victory. There is the win. So that just kicks us right back out to the main screen. There we go. So that was my very first game of Ranked this season. I was completing the Guru's Trial 6 Warrior build. I don't normally run 6 Warriors, but it's really cool to know that 6 Warriors is viable again against Sorcerers because Oceanborn has been reverted to magic resistance. So let me know what you think of Oceanborn's new or updated or maybe reverted combo, because it used to be that a few patches ago. What you think of that down in the comments down below. Thanks for checking out this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of my future content. Until next time, I'll see you later.